I'm Will Davis. So we're at Rochester Institute of Technology. I'm a first-year grad student in the furniture design program at the School of American Crafts. So I studied industrial design for my undergrad here at RIT, and I was kind of more oriented towards designing products and manufacturing and how to mass produce things and making things better. I think that I try to implement things that I've learned in ID as far as like production efficiency and doing things like making templates for woodworking, things like 3D printing, making jigs, CNCing for doing things like complex carving. So I think there's definitely a lot of techniques and technology that I learned in ID that I do use in furniture design as well. So I designed a lounge chair. I kind of wanted to make that efficient to produce, so that was one of the projects where I used templates and made a efficient production for that, as well as making the upholstery. I also designed a coffee table as well, and I think that they have a similar design language. They kind of go together, and those were my first real big woodworking projects coming in as a first-year grad last semester. I think I really like to start with simple geometry, and I think it can be really interesting and beautiful on its own. Some people do like really intricate carvings and things like that, and I think that's wonderful and beautiful, but personally I like to work more minimally, and I'm definitely inspired by mid-century furniture and classic timeless things. I try to emulate that timelessness into the work that I create. The first project this semester, it was ad hoc lighting, which was to create a light out of a found object. I'm a guitar player and I really like guitars. I had this old amplifier that was kind of broken and wasn't really doing too much, so I thought it would be an interesting opportunity to kind of incorporate a light into it. The volume knob actually adjusts the brightness of it, and that was kind of like a warm-up project to get us into our major semester project, which was to make a furniture piece that incorporates lighting. So the cabinet is the major project that I'm working on this semester, which is the furniture piece that incorporates a light. So I kind of wanted to create a morning ritual cabinet, something that could house coffee and tea. I have this opening, like this hole that kind of shines the light that's inside the cabinet to the outside to kind of create like a beacon that calls you to it in the morning. And I also have part of a Robert Frost poem engraved in the back of the cabinet that I think is kind of an interesting thing to reflect on in the morning. So the other door on there is a sliding tambour door, which opens to the smaller portion of the cabinet. It's basically a bunch of slats of wood that slide within a groove, and they are glued to a piece of fabric that kind of keeps it all together, but it allows it to still slide along the groove and create kind of an interesting curve as it goes along. So I'm working on a bench that incorporates bent lamination. I'm using the bent lamination as the seating, and that is basically 1/16 of an inch laminations that are all clamped together into a form to create this interesting curve and recurve, and that will all be joined into a structure that will create a seat for the bench. I have a small growing collection. I'm a big fan of Japanese tools. I really like my Japanese hand plane. I think that I use it about 90% of the time over the Western plane. I think that it's really relaxing to use, and it gets like a really great finish on any piece that it's cutting. And I have two sizes of that, one large and one smaller for smaller shaping projects. I'm definitely inspired by a lot of timeless pieces, like the Eames lounge chair, as well as some pieces by Eileen Gray that she designed for Le Corbusier that are really ahead of their time, and I think that they still look great today. And I think pieces like that are really interesting because they worked well back then, and they also still look like they could have been made yesterday. And I think that those kinds of furniture pieces are really what I strive to create and what I take inspiration from. I definitely try to create work that incorporates, my background in industrial design into furniture design, and kind of vice versa, furniture design into industrial design. So I think that incorporating both of those backgrounds is definitely what I try to do.